Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for inviting me. Thanks to the National Institute of Management for having me here. And I've heard National Institute of Management is the most prestigious training institute. So I'm here to speak on the issue and welfare of children in Pakistan. We'll talk about the topics, the issues, which are the problems that the children in Pakistan are facing, then the solution. And then I'll also link it gradually with the work we are doing at the Child Protection Bureau. So basically, UNCRC, you're right, we're following the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Child, which Pakistan also ratified to it, and then we have to follow that. According to that, child rights, the child rights means that every child will have an equal opportunity to grow as a human being, and they should have the right to survive, develop, be protected, and participate. We talk about rights of children in Pakistan. These rights include non-discrimination. As per UNCRC, if you summarize in 4 broad categories, it will include non-discrimination, best interest of the child, right to survival, life and development, and participation. Like every child should have equal opportunity to participate and take decisions which will have an impact on their life. So we talk about all this, but you know the situation in Pakistan is, can you go back to the documentary? The SSBO documentary. So on one hand we're talking about, the right of a child to life, survival and development. And then on one hand we see these cases happening. Can you go next? Okay, so this is a girl, Warda, she's an infant. Her neck was slit by her own parents. And we don't know the reason why the parents did that, and real parents. And she was reported to us by the Sialkot Children's Hospital. So we got this infant, we rescued her, and then later on she's been adopted by a really good family. So these cases now, either they slit her neck open because they wanted to, of course they wanted to kill her. Or another possibility can be that someone kidnapped her and then the girl was not getting sold, so that person tried to kill her. So there can be 2, 3, possibilities. But this is the ground situation. Next. Okay, I'll play further.
केरला रखे थे तो हालत हॉस्पिटल के हॉस्पिटल में जन्म लेने वाली बच्ची चाइल्ड प्रोटेक्शन ब्यूरो के हवाले 9 मौलूद को तमाम तकलीफ से बुनियाद फराहम की गई है। सेहत बेहतर है।
So 13 Jan 2020, a case was reported where an infant, her own mother, she put her in the pot and flushed her. And then the hospital management found out, they quickly rescued the child from the flush toilet. And then they called us, we got the child, she was alhamdulillah okay, and then she was also adopted to a good family. So we found out that she was an illegitimate child. And we found out the reasons behind this whole episode that happened. So these sorts of cases are reported to us, and I've witnessed more than 5,000 such cases in the last 5 years, in which we have intervened and rescued and rehabilitated and given such kids to families. Or there are some children who are right now also staying in the Child Protection Bureau and studying and they're being empowered. Next. Okay, so now the efforts of federal and provincial governments to ensure child rights. Now, so this legislation and policy framework, which I'm sure you all already know about, that Pakistan is, actually trying to do something about child rights. There's education. The government is working on improving access to quality education for the children. So the Right to Education Act has been implemented. Then there's child protection. There's healthcare, there's nutrition, there's child labor, which is a big issue. We'll discuss that in detail later. There's social welfare programs that are designed, awareness and advocacy, data collection and monitoring, and capacity building, right? These are the steps which are taken by the federal government. Then moving on, I'll talk about the role of Child Protection Welfare Bureau of Punjab for protecting the rights of such children. Next. It can stop it. So this is a usual rescue operation which we do. The Bureau is the only government agency which is mandated to actually go in the field, rescue a child and then rehabilitate. So we have different sections, like we have our own trauma, because in deep trauma, especially children who are subjected to child sexual abuse. So it's very difficult to get them back to normal life, you know. So we have psychologists for that. Then we have a medical section, because whenever we receive a child, first that child goes to the medical section and then gets admitted in the bureau. Then we have our own school. There's one school in every center for their education. Then we work on empowering children. We have vocational skills also there. Then we have a social section which goes and rescues. Then we have our own courts. So we have our own child protection court inside the bureau. So this is the only model in South Asia, not just Pakistan, where there's a court inside the bureau and a special judge sits there, so that there's no delay in custody. So this is an actual case that took place. This boy, Fahad, was found from the garbage truck in Pindi, and when we rescued him, his nose was not there. His nose was bitten by some animal. You know, we don't know which animal, but he didn't have a nose. So then we got plastic surgeries, done different surgeries, and now he's doing really well, and he's still, you know, in the child protection bureau. Okay, so if you see the data, so in the last 5 years, 18,600 children have been rescued. 139 children were given to good families, to suitable families as adoption. Actually, adoptions are not allowed as per constitution, so it's called temporary custody. And we do it through the guardianship act, but it's almost the same as adoption. Awareness campaigns 251, which were done for child abuse, child torture, child trafficking. Psychological counseling provided to 18,396 victims. And then domestic violence victims rescued were 45,000. Yeah, next. So we have a helpline which is 1121. Okay, and this helpline is the same all across Pakistan, not just in Punjab. I don't know how active it is in other provinces, but I'm not sure about that. But this is a helpline, so we want people to report cases to us of child abuse, child torture, any such abandoned child to see on the street, and anything like that. Okay, next. So child torture, when we talk about child torture, there were two brothers in Lahore. They were tortured brutally by their employer. Okay, and this employer was from an affluent family, educated. You must have seen these cases on TV also. And this happened in DHA Lahore, you know, which is a posh area. And so one was tortured so badly that he died on spot. The brother, we got the brother, and the brother is living with us right now. Next, and then the FIR and everything was done. But I'll tell you the loopholes that we face regarding, you know, the conviction rates and accountability. We talk about that. As I told you, empower our children also. Some children have gotten jobs at different, you know, multinational companies. We've opened our own bake shop because we believe in empowering these children. So it's not just, the bureau is not just a place to keep children, give them food and shelter, and, you know, send them back to the street. We need to empower them so that they can get jobs, and only then we exit them from the bureau. Next. Also, we've given government jobs to the. So there was I faced a challenge regarding this. I wanted our own children to be hired, but you people know more than me that there are a lot of you know, conditions and prereqs when we are hiring, recruiting. So we actually went a little out of the way, involved the chief minister, and then we hired, because our children were not meeting the criteria, but then we hired our own children in the bureau. Next. This is an example of adoption. So when we give children for adoption, we also follow up. The court follows up about how the child is doing after every, like, you know, 2 months. Next. 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 So police training is also something that we thought that was very much needed. Is there anybody from the police? Yeah. So initially, when we used to go, our team would go and get FIR done. We would notice that the person at the police station would not know which section to apply, especially regarding child rights. You know, whether it was torture cases, whether it was an abuse case. So we thought, why not give trainings with the help of NGOs? So we combined NGOs with us and gave trainings to police officers. So we've done this in Pindi and Lahore. We intend to do this in other districts also. So this should be done actually across the country. Police plays a very, very vital role. So they need to be on board regarding all child rights laws. Policy development. So our child protection policy is going to be presented in the next cabinet session of Punjab government, and it is going to be very important. We have also shared the draft with all other provinces. Once this child protection policy gets approved and launched, it will set a milestone. It's going to be a basically legal framework of bringing all 9 departments, education, law department, you know, all relevant health departments under one roof. Because when a child case is reported to us, that child needs medical attention also, education also, police also, FIA, all agencies will be under one roof according to this child protection policy. There will be a case management system which is being designed by UNICEF. Actually, it's almost done. So we're waiting for the policy to be approved so it can be implemented. Next. Okay, moving on to the next topic, that's constitutional, legal and institutional arrangements for welfare and protection of children. So, the Constitution of Pakistan, considering protection of child rights, has different articles in the Constitution, which is, so I'll just briefly name. There's Article 4, which is right to dignity of man. There's Article 9, which is security of persons. First, it involves children also. There's Article 25, which is right to education, that every child should be educated. Now this you all would agree with me, this is not being implemented at all. This is Article 37, promotion of social justice and elimination of inequality. So the legal framework adopted is the Employment of Children's Act 1991, then there's the Child Marriage Estate Act 1929, there's Juvenile Justice System Act 2018, there's National Commission on the Rights of Child Act 2017. So these are the acts to, implement the articles which are there in the Constitution. The issue is with implementation. We have really good laws in Pakistan. The problem only lies about how much are they being implemented and what are the issues which we'll discuss later. Topic number 3 is child labor in Pakistan. Now you must have come across the big case which happened in Islamabad. Yeah, the judge's wife, had beaten up the girl Rizwana. So, educated people are also doing it. So, why is it happening? Let's discuss on why it's happening. So, I met Rizwana 4 times. She's in the hospital. She'll be discharged this week, I think, and then we'll get her in the bureau. And, I saw her the first time when she was tortured. It was so bad. She couldn't even talk. Her teeth were broken. It was really sad state of affairs. And it took so long, so much pressure. Whoever I knew, I requested those people high up to get the JIT form. The JIT was also formed, but still the person is not arrested. So why do you think these cases are happening? Let's discuss on this. Why does this child torture take place? So if a child is working in a household, it's wrong. Because under 15 years you can't employ a child. But even if it's happening due to poverty and whatever unemployment, but why are these people torturing these children? So can anyone add? Please.
Sorry to say, but
Please introduce
yourself. Ahmad from Secretary. Sorry to say, but ma'am, हम जो educated और affluent class हैं, हमने probably other human beings of पाकिस्तान की निस्बत तरबियत ज़्यादा है, और उसकी वजह हमारी दौलत, हमारा status, हमारा social standing, and the hunger for power which we want and which we want to have always and more, because there's a certified fact कि जो हिर्स है या जो lust for power ये कम नहीं होती. So that is what we want to do. We want to rule other human beings. We want to rule the lords. And if they disobey, then we have our own way of dealing with it.
Right. Thank you. Please.
I'm Ahmad from Pakistan Administrative Service. Ma'am, I think perhaps these are sadistic people and they know they have got an absolute control over these children. And there's no one to look after these children or to take care of these children, and they are just exercising absolute control and they're sadistic people. So they take pleasure in victimizing these children.
Right. So there's a psychological problem.
Thank you, madam. This is Daud from Information Group. As a whole, अगर आप सोसाइटी को देखें ना, तो हमारा एक इंटॉलरेंस का लेवल बढ़ रहा है. आप देखेंगे मोटी बच्चे को पीट रहा है और बेशर्म तरीके से पीट रहा है. हमारी फ्रस्ट्रेशन मुख्तलिफ जगहों से जमा हो रही है ड्यू टू आवर सोशल एंड इकोनॉमिक जो सिचुएशन बनी हुई है. तो वो मैनिफेस्ट डिफरेंट वेज में होती है. वो कभी बच्चों के ऊपर निकल रही होती है, कभी आप ट्रैफिक में आप देख रहे हैं खास जो आपकी बाकी कंप्यूटर है उससे निकल रही होती है, तो ये बेसिकली जो ओवरऑल हमारी क्वेश्चन है, एक तो इंटॉलरेंस बढ़ रही है ड्यू टू ऑल द फ्रस्ट्रेशन, दिस इज मैनिफेस्टेशन ऑफ दैट थिंग।
Right. Thank you. जी.
Thank you, madam. Mohammed Laudi is secretary. Madam, there are issues on the both sides. On the child side, their family has always socioeconomic issues and they want to have money and they want some sources or resources from where they can get money. Obviously, child is frustrated there because he is not getting the care, he is not getting the education, the parents did not have the resources. So only option they have is to send them somewhere, and it is a known fact. The parents are themselves sending the children to some places wherever they can find, and they get money for that too. And even the pay is paid in advance. When the child goes to their home, child does not know what are the dynamics and demands and actual requirements in which he has to perform and act there, and what is his specific role there in this house. In most of the families, that's my personal experience with that. The child is, even the adult person who comes from like that, he is not tuned to the working. And here lies the problem. If the child is not properly protected, if his parents or whoever has sent the child, they are not properly caring him, it is left to the mercy of the house where he is.
Right.
This is a big factor, actually, leaving aside all the other morality and ethical issues.
Right.